What's up, y'all? In today's video, we're really gonna hit the ground running because we got a lot going on. I am going to be finishing up the front timing cover on the 6-liter Powerstroke. Now, if you watched the previous video, I was replacing the oil cooler on it, so I had taken most of it off. But in today's video, we're gonna be focusing primarily on the front timing cover and reinstalling everything, including all the stuff I took apart for the last video. So if you find a bunch of stuff and you're like, well, why did you take that apart? That's why. So we're gonna dive headfirst into this. If you enjoyed this video or want to follow along for more car shenanigans, I have Z stuff, Super stuff, Honda stuff, and I got a BRZ. So if you want to follow along, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up for me and go ahead and smash that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. Happy New Year all. Let's get into this. Oh, what is that? Woo. Woo. There are serious hoses here. Huh. I got it. Finally. Now, these should be the oil pump gears, which should slide right out. And we can inspect these. Woo! There's one, and there's two. So last time I worked on it, we got the oil cooler in and bolted down and torqued in. Today, I still have to take off the rest of the front timing cover. The main part of the timing cover is still bolted to it. I got the oil pump off, or the water pump off and all that stuff. The oil pump gears are out. I'm trying to gather my thoughts here. So now there's about, probably about 10 bolts taking the timing cover off. We're gonna clean that all up real good and then take my new gasket and lay it on there. And I guess that pulls it right off. Now I have a mess. Okay, so here's the gasket. Got a lot of crap to clean up here. This is gonna take a while. Cleanup alone is gonna take forever. My God, that is definitely not no V6 4-cylinder crankshaft. Look at the size of that thing. That is a girthy mother. Okay guys, just to give you a clear idea of how bad this front timing cover gasket was, I mean, look how rusted and rotted out these gaskets are around here. It was more than likely leaking from right here. I think this might have broke as I removed it, but regardless, if there's that much corrosion on it, it was only a matter of time before this thing completely blew out, which I assume this has never actually been taken off because this looks like all of 300,000 miles on a gasket, to be honest, especially with that type of corrosion. Like, that's insane. It chewed right through the metal. Anyways, we got a nice fresh one going on. When you put these on, you want to put a little bit of RTV right around here. because it's actually a two-piece lower case. And so what happens is this part here can leak oil for basically all of eternity if you don't put RTV in the right spot. So if you're still watching this and you like 300ZXs as well, you should know that the 300ZX factory head gaskets are also made by the same brand. So with that said, I know this is a good brand. It may not be Motorcraft in particular, but I would be willing to bet that Molly probably makes the Motorcraft brand gaskets because they are extremely, extremely similar. So, if not better. I didn't say that though. Let's go ahead and get this thing put on. I'm gonna dab a little bit of RTV in it, and then we should be good to go from here. And it's just a matter of reassembly. All right, y'all, so basically the oil pan, this is a two-part oil pan. The top part of the oil pan actually holds in the crankshaft. It's one of those big girdle motors. Basically, I'm gonna take a little bit of RTV. We're gonna smear it on right here. Because it's so cold, my Honda Bond isn't working. Take that out there. Just smear it on. It doesn't want to stick either. Man, I hate working in the cold weather. This Florida boy does not like the cold weather. Nice little ooze there for the RTV. Down here. Alright, we're getting there. Okay, first order of business today. I did it off camera. We got the up pipe on. That was a real pain in the butt. What I actually ended up doing was getting the V-band on, and then once I got the V-band on, I rotated it and used that for leverage to pry up with the up pipe, and then I was able to get it hooked in and tightened down because it took probably a good 30-40 minutes of fighting that thing. Go like this. 13s. What the fuck? Okay, y'all, quick update. We've got the turbo in, FICM in, up pipe in, belt is on. I got to put the fan in, put the lower radiator hose in, fill it with coolant, put the batteries in, obviously. So I got a little bit more to go. This should be all easy stuff. I'm gonna set y'all up right here. We're gonna go on a time lapse and we're gonna finish this up real quick. Okay guys, everything's put together in the truck. I'm gonna go ahead and start it up. I'm not gonna lie, I did start it up once already, but it shut down on me. So we're gonna fire this up. I think it might have been like a bad connection somewhere. Just finished putting coolant in it. So I gotta let the coolant cycle through and I'm gonna keep it topped off as I'm letting it run. So this thing will probably take about, who knows, 30 minutes to 40 minutes to fully get all of the air pockets out. So let's fire it up, see how she does. VGT's sticked on. We got oil pressure. Obviously it's gonna be cold for a while. Check engine light was already on. It runs, that's a good deal. Like I said, I'm just gonna let it run. We're gonna top out the coolant and we'll see what else we got here. Hopefully everything works out okay, because this is not a job I wanna do twice at all. Let me double check everything, make sure it's not leaking anything. This should be good. All right guys, looks like we are slinging a lot of oil. Looks like it might be coming from the front main seal. I'm gonna get under here. We'll see what we got. Yeah, 100%. Oh my God, that is a lot of oil. I would say that is 100%. Gotta be coming from the front main seal, because that is just a lot of oil everywhere, all over everything. Dang it. Oh, this sucks. So I gotta pull that front seal back off and figure out what went wrong there, because that's definitely not right at all. Oh, this sucks. Glad I caught it now rather than later, but dang it. Okay, so that was a massive failure on my part. I really messed up, because what had happened was, if you replace the front main seal on a 6-liter Powerstroke with the aftermarket, I think even the OEM one comes with it, but I used the Molly front main seal. I think they're pretty much the same as the Motorcraft ones, but anyways, it comes with a little sleeve, and that little metal sleeve is supposed to go on over the crankshaft. Well, I thought that sleeve was part of the packaging and shipping so that the front main seal stays in shape. I know, sounds kind of dumb, but I'd never seen anything like it, so I saw that little sleeve and thought, oh, packaging stuff, I'll throw it away. So that's what I did. I threw it away, and I found out the hard way. It's gonna happen, nobody's perfect. My first time doing anything on a diesel, and of course I had to run into some sort of issue. So we got that taken care of. Also, if you remember in the beginning of my previous video, there was an electrical draw on the truck that basically, I couldn't even let the truck sit overnight. It would lose all power in the batteries, it would just drain all out. Essentially what I had found was there was a hum coming from the alternator. So we replaced the alternator, and I'm gonna find out right now how well the thing starts after sitting for, well, at this point, a couple days, because I just really got tired of it, and seeing that oil leak and fixing it throughout the week was just kind of a nightmare for me. If you want to see how to install the front crank sleeve, I can go ahead and put a link down here or up here, one or the other, and you guys can go watch another video on how to do that, because It was a little bit of a process for me, and I did it without using the tool. So I'll put the link of the video without the tool here. So for now, let's go ahead and hop in the truck, get it started up, check it out, make sure everything fires up okay and runs okay. Okay, y'all, it's been about a week now. The truck has been sitting. I actually didn't even check the amp draw on it, honestly. So this is pretty much, I started up just a second ago, but this is pretty much a cold start, 300,000 miles after all the work I did to it. And it is just sitting, it's doing pretty good. Doesn't seem to be leaking anything. Everything looks dry underneath. I'm quite happy with it. Hopefully this just turns into a reliable 300,000+ mile 6-liter diesel for me, which is kind of hard to come by, I think. But I think this one was well taken care of most of its life. So, see what we got. Yeah. Looks like we got a little high idle. That'll go down. Check engine light's always on. I was told the check engine light actually had something to do with the tuner itself, because the EGR is deleted and the tuner got updated or connected to the internet, and the internet screwed itself. And yeah, sounds good. I freaking love it. Hopefully this thing will just turn into a good running tow truck, work truck for me. I'll be able to take cars to the track on a trailer and not have to think twice if, you know, something breaks in the car, how I'm getting home. This is just gonna be a good peace of mind at a very, very affordable cost. I think that's gonna do it for this video, you guys. I really hope you all enjoyed this one. It's a little bit different, I know. Don't worry, we're gonna get back to the automotive content. This one just took a really long time actually to do all the work, because it was learning a new platform along the way, as well as recording is definitely not the easiest thing. So we'll get to it, but that's gonna do it for today. I'm gonna take this thing on a quick cruise. Y'all take care, have a good one. We are not even warmed up yet. That's okay. Sounds good, y'all.